We've been kicking this can down the street for 15 years in this city.
This feels like grandstanding by the administration, and frankly, I think it's a farce.
Municipal code they say we're violating is camping. And we're not camping, I'm living my life here.
A lot of people don't want to be inside. They like it outside.
I chose this life. I come out here and I love it. I mean, don't got to answer to nobody.
It's really comfortable being able to wake up to like look at the trees and block out the traffic again. It's not too bad.
More peaceful and your own rules.
I'm doing the best I can. I don't even know who to negotiate with you on the assembly because everyone has told me a different story.
There's millions and millions and millions of dollars right now, millions for us out here. But what are they spending it on?
I've witnessed hundreds of millions of dollars spent over the last 6 years and frivolously spending money like it's going out, like it's not your money.
It is time for the administration to show up and truly be collaborative.
You want to be in a house or admit housing, that's...
I want to be in my own home, and I deserve that, you know? I'm a human being, you know? I shouldn't be out here in a wheelchair, in a tent, you know? Trying to struggle every day.
This crisis is real. These people's lives are worth providing for, and we as a body and you as an administration have a duty collaboratively to figure this out.
I need help.
Who do I negotiate with?
So we will have an answer to that question before we're done tonight.
Fair enough, thank you, I appreciate that.
2 years ago, we produced an eye-opening film about homelessness in Anchorage. At the time, visible homelessness was everywhere. Now, by nearly all accounts, it has been reduced. But the fundamental issue is still here. With winter fast approaching, the new mayor and the assembly continue to fight over a long-term solution. Meanwhile, there are over 1,000 people in our city the municipality has a responsibility to provide shelter for. This is new. It's like they've made it for a truck. It's almost like a path now. See? Remember last time we had to climb over it? Oh, what is that? Hello. She had no shoes on. Now, a little bit further up is where we saw all the tents last time. Whoa, look at this. This is legit. Where we talked to, I think it was Jago and Jimbo.
James Francois.
Good to meet you guys.
Jago. Oh yeah. Yep. Still here. Looks like not as much.
What I would like to do is have an apartment so I can have some structure.
Everybody sees the negative side of everything. They don't see the positive side.
Look at that. Chessboard. Hello? Hello? I don't think anybody's here. There's definitely some tents, not as many as we saw last time, but there's a whole bunch of bike parts back there and some tools, which we saw 2 years ago.
These bike parts and stuff, I guarantee you at least 70, 80, 90% of them probably came from garbage cans.
This is definitely not nearly as many tents as we saw 2 years ago.
You can give some of these people $1 million and they'll be homeless tomorrow.
How's it going? We're doing a follow-up on a video we made 2 years ago about some of the camping back here. And there was like way more tents and way more people. Yeah. Do you feel like it's not as
down a bit? Yeah. There's only a couple of people back there. The Vietnam veteran, and like 3 more people, I think.
Hello? Hello? so that's been considerably reduced, but there is still people back here, and this looks like it's been pretty established, these tents over here. Mr. Constant! Looks like they may have done some abatement back there. What do you think?
I think they did. I want to show you something I just discovered about this site.
What's that?
Well, you gotta look. Show don't tell, right?
What do you got there?
This little pocket right here is where that site is. So this homeless camp right here is in Jamie Allard's district.
Oh, just barely. Look at that.
You know, my district has been shrunk and abused and kind of gerrymandered in so many different ways that obviously this is my responsibility, but it's not my district.
What was your name?
Myron.
Myron, Jeff.
Yeah. Good to meet you.
Nice to meet you. What was your name? I think it's your name.
Brian.
Brian? Jeff, man. Nice to meet you.
In the municipality, we're having us move all the time. Anyone that's been out here, come through here last year and come through again this year, they'll tell you that there's a big difference in what it was. We're happy with the group of people that are staying out here now. They're policing each other on keeping it picked up.
When you do this move every few weeks, it definitely stresses you out, and everything getting stolen.
You gotta move so you clean up.
I thought I'd found a comfortable place to stay, and now I'm gotta pack up and move again.
How heavy is that?
Pretty heavy. They keep making us move everything all the time. It's hard to get it done by yourself. So we had another 100 years to go.
All right, so Chris, it's been just over 2 years. We're in a different spot now, Mountain View, which this is a new camp that came across the street where they did an abatement, and now there's, I see, you know, more than a dozen, probably more tents back here. You know, it seems like almost the same situation, but different place from 2 years ago.
I think, you know, we had a report from our parks director just yesterday that the volume of calls are down, the number of camps are down, the number of people camping is down. That doesn't change the specific circumstances, the fact that we still have people camping, but it is working, there is progress. It just doesn't feel great when you come out here and see people setting up brand new camps right across the street from where they were just abated.
Why do you keep camping?
I like it. It's my lifestyle. I like being free. So I moved to Alaska.
Even in the winter?
I've done 5 winters outdoors, yeah.
Were you at the other camp where they told everybody to move? Yeah. How long have you been out kind of camping for?
6 months.
6 months? What were you doing before that?
VA housing.
So, I mean, do you like being out here? Some people say they want to be out here. Some people say they're kind of, this is...
I got till January before my housing.
January?
Yeah.
Is that in Anchorage?
Yeah.
So what's the plan until January? Just kind of...
There are still people in need of a place to go, and then as you heard earlier, there are people who aren't going to accept a place to go, and I don't know what the exact answer is to that, but you cannot pack people into an environment like sardines and expect them to have a decent quality of life, to have any kind of basic humanity. So when we were down at 3rd Avenue before...
Hello!
Hello,
gentlemen!
You saw there were so many people and so many bodies that it was truly inhumane.
That's my home right here. Thank the Lord, at least I have a rain fly.
It actually caused the conflicts.
We're on Alaska's property, not yours.
And I've been here since then.
Get that fucking camera on my face before I break it.
It caused the intense psychological traumas that were happening in that place.
You're fucking ass, bro. I don't belong out here, out in the streets. Look at me.
Basically, the waiting room for behavioral health care services has been on the streets in front of the shelter. We've moved past that. Now the question is, how do we reconfigure this?
Get it away! Get it away! Go away!
We won't go back to that.
Remember there's that guy and that woman here that had the kid and that whole crazy fucking, remember that woman? It was right here. I mean, that's right where it was. We're here on 3rd and Carlick, which 2 years ago in the video was ground zero for the homeless kind of visible problem. Now we're here and it's just very quiet. There's only a few people here, nothing like we saw before. The road over there, 3rd Avenue, where Beans and Brother Francis is, before was lined with people. Hello. And now there's nobody. How are you? It's very different. Good. Hi. How long have you been in Anchorage for?
I've been in Anchorage since 1969.
Oh, a long time.
We went to school together and we graduated from East High.
East High?
In 72.
I graduated West High in 1981. And
so you're a little young. You're a little younger.
He's
the young one. We were here 2 years ago filming, and it was like really a lot of people, and it was very.
Now it's dispersed out. It was crazy before the
pandemic. Yeah.
COVID-19 was the single best thing in 3 decades to happen to this neighborhood. To have now experienced what it can be like, it would be devastating to go back.
You don't want to go back.
And I don't think this neighborhood's going to tolerate it.
Damn, Scott, we're like journalists. 2 years ago, you took us and showed us 3rd Avenue.
It was terrible.
And almost like a third world situation. What would you rate the improvement as?
I would rate it 7.5 out of 10 when before it was a 1. That was kind of the silver lining with COVID. It forced the city to take measures to deal with the problem. And that's when they opened up the Sullivan.
It's been a pretty great place, you know. It's a humbling experience for sure.
They got food, you can sleep, you can shower. It's not a bad place, you know.
So how many people could stay here?
Right now we have a max capacity of 400. How are you, hon?
Hello.
Doing good. Yeah, max capacity of 400.
What is that? I mean, I've heard that's compared to other shelters in the United States, that's pretty big.
It was the largest in the United States until Reno opened up.
Last time I was here, I think it was for a hockey game.
Yeah, it looks a little different.
Wow, it looks a lot different.
Yeah. This is triage. That's all it is. It's triage. This isn't going to solve the problem. We've got to address the underlying issues of addiction, of behavioral health, of trauma. You know, so many things have to be sorted out for folks before they can long-term be successful in housing.
But without a place like this, you're saying that those other things come much harder to do.
Awfully hard. So, yep, here's one of the meal options.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yep. And this is a vegan meal. So we have vegan meals, we have diabetic meals, we have different options for folks. This is our navigation hub. This is where people can come and get connection to services.
Would you say most people generally follow the rules?
Yeah, they try to.
As long as you're not using substances?
In the facility, yep.
I would just say that, you know, off the bat, this place compared to 2 years ago when we were downtown on 3rd Avenue, frankly pretty scary. Here it's way more orderly. People are, you know, I've seen nothing kind of intense. We've seen no food's better. It looks like situation. So I mean, let's say overall this is a much better situation.
I have been thrilled that one of the first things that we heard from Mayor Bronson when he took office was, I would like to see a solution to this problem. Almost half of the people we saw in the last month were first-time homeless and chose to use camps and not the Sullivan. We're not talking about people with complex medical and behavioral health needs. We're talking about my neighbor and your neighbor. And so in a perfect world, if we were designing policy proactively with a plethora of resources, I would absolutely say we need shelters located around the community that are small and focused. But I'll also tell you, Jeff, I'm pragmatic. We're in the middle of an incredible emergency that none of us ever expected to deal with. We're increasing homelessness and the eviction moratorium hasn't even ended. Right now, the crisis is, do we have a safe place for people to stay when we shut down the Sullivan?
Hey, good morning. Good to see you.
Good seeing you.
Yeah. Nice jacket. If you have a big shelter, you probably need smaller like pods or smaller areas where you can break it down from instead of 300 people, you have 30 people or something.
Absolutely, absolutely. The Sullivan is, nobody thinks that's a great place to have a congregate shelter for folks. You know, it was the place that was available, and it was the place that they could stand up, and it was big. We want people to have a legitimate alternative that's better than that curb or that tree. You know, a place that I would be comfortable sleeping, and I'm not going to go sleep at the Sullivan. But I will be sleeping at the new facility to make sure everything's kosher. No, we're specifically designing it where a person can come. Oh, there we go. Whatever their challenges that's facing them, the resources there, comfortable for people, where it's a legitimate alternative to being on the streets.
Where do you want me to drop you?
It's safe, it's quiet, you can sleep there.
At the end there where the building starts.
And it's combined, most importantly, with a process that gets people back to self-sufficiency.
I'm going to the Sullivans. I'm staying there the night. I brought a fleece phone charger. Working on this for my book club. Not a lot of stuff. I got my ID. That's it. And it's about 6 o'clock. They told me I'm going just like anybody else. So I'm going to see how the process works and get a bunk and get a cot and hang out and do some reading. Maybe have some dinner and talk to some folks and see how it goes. So we'll see you tomorrow. Sunny day. We'll see you guys. For decades, nothing changed. I mean, marginally things, changed on the surface a little bit, but are you hopeful that something's going to happen? Because the past shows us that not a lot happens.
The reason I took the job is, frankly, I think this is the time for Anchorage to get this done.
That was a fucking experience like I've never had in my life. walking in right now. See how it goes. So here at my cot, and there's this guy who's just been laughing and just won't stop laughing, and some people are getting mad, and I checked in, I'm very intense, like, now it's calmed down, but this guy had the overdose, and they gave him Narcan, the paramedics showed up, and it's just, it's kind of calmer now, but this guy just keeps laughing nonstop, and people are starting to get pretty mad, and people are walking by, and it's kind of way different kind of experience. So I just had dinner, had a burrito and some coffee, and we were in the common, kind of like an area there with a bunch of tables and chairs, and it's kind of like the eating, relaxing area, and there's a TV, there's a Vin Diesel movie playing or something. Everybody was watching TV, and it was really kind of peaceful, and everybody was relaxing, and this employee came over and kind of announced he was going to clean up, and TV was going off, which, I mean, it seems like a small thing, the TV going off, right? But it like wasn't a small thing. It disrupted the entire atmosphere, and people were kind of mad. They got up. Imagine it's going to be a long night, but we'll see what happens. People yelling and almost fighting, and I mean just coughing, and this other lady was walking around in a circle for 15 minutes with this huge smile on her face and talking to herself and singing, and it was just chaotic. So it's about 10:30 at night, the lights are off, and it's much quieter. The guy behind me is still kind of laughing, and just on and off laughing. I was told he has a traumatic brain injury. You can hear him probably, and then another guy's listening to the BBC News. And people are kind of coming and going, and I'm trying to get some sleep here, but it's not going to be as nice as being in my bed. That's for sure. Alright, so it's about midnight. I'm here upstairs in the mezzanine. This guy's still laughing, there's another guy screaming, there's a woman kind of yelling, and it was like, "Fuck you, bitch," and you just want to relax, go to sleep, but there's like hundreds of people down there, and it's not horrible, but it's not ideal, I'll tell you what, it's like we're in a world, I'm in a world in here in the middle of Anchorage that is an entirely different world than what's outside. And there's people every day, tens of thousands that drive by here and don't have any idea. It's a whole different world here in the Sullivan Arena.
How do you make a sound decision? That's what we're trying to help the parties. We're working with the committees.
I'm getting back into my own place, so I'm starting up a business.
The long-term plan is to get on my feet, get a place to stay, and get some kind of employment or some kind of income where I don't have to come back here. Once you have a home, it'll be a lot better, This is temporary.
I know you don't really get into politics, but it does seem like the assembly and the mayor, there's still no clear path.
And you know, honestly, this is something we've battled with the last 4 or 5 years. And it's not just this administration. We had a previous administration that had the mayor and the assembly all in agreement on most things, and they still couldn't come up with a plan. I mean, every winter it was, oh my, what are we going to do now?
Get that motherfucker! Get that fucker! There's like a lot of lost people, you know what I mean? They just really need help.
One of the most successful business people in the community in relationship to the ongoing concerns of homelessness is Beans Cafe. You know, I'm looking forward to seeing their 990 documents and see how profitable COVID and the pandemic.
I never knew what a homeless shelter was until I got pushed into one. You know, I never knew about that stuff.
Relax, man, we're not filming. Hey, relax.
I've seen with my own eyes, bro, like 8 months ago, people that I knew that were just a little bit off.
You guys didn't leave me alone.
Okay, we are, man. We are.
You know, and now they're really fucking bad, bro, like full on psychotic meltdown type shit. Just from being here, man, for so long, they've just lost it.
And I'm having a hard time right now. I feel like committing suicide.
I think we need to be pragmatic about what's realistic for Anchorage.
You don't record me without my consent, okay?
We're in a public area, okay?
My dream of many small shelters, we don't have the money for that right now. And we don't have the public will to do that.
Fucking rock out your fucking expensive car, motherfucker.
Hey, man, hey, bro, take it easy.
A lot of broken people, I guess, a lot of bad stories.
Let's say if they were to close the Sullivan or something were to happen with the Sullivan and people were to come back down here, what would you think? What would you think would happen? Dude, what the fuck, man? Take it easy.
It would become chaotic in there.
Threw a fucking rock at me. Jesus Christ.
When are we going to stop kicking the can down the street?
The same people got her brought back here every time.
Homelessness is a tough thing. It's a tough nut to crack.
I'm an alcoholic, and I have to stop that.
But it's not strictly speaking a political issue. It's a right and wrong issue for how you help people.
We still people too, and we deserve a chance.
Philip, Jeff, nice to meet you. Jeff, what was your name? William, Philip, William, and? Lena. What's a Russian name? When we started making this film, I had thought the Sullivan Arena Shelter was a good idea. Only after spending some time here and staying the night, I came to realize that it's really only a good idea for the folks living and working on 3rd Avenue. The big takeaway for me is everybody, the mayor, assembly, the folks in the nonprofit world, everybody working on this issue agrees the Sullivan Arena is not a good place for a long-term shelter. But the problem is nobody agrees on what the long-term solution should be. The COVID-19 pandemic forced the city to take action to open the shelter 18 months ago. If history shows us one thing, it seems clear to me the Sullivan Arena Mass Shelter is going to be here for some time to come.